Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? What is up, Caitlin? Ryan, good to see you, buddy. How have you been? What's going on, man? Dan, good morning. How is everyone doing today? What's up, bro fit? How's it hanging? Oh, man. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Caitlin with an 8 plus. Let's go. Who else is feeling 8 plus? David. GM couch, rocking out to my own jam. Need to turn on the Daily Dad's value. What? Did you not have it on? I heard it. Been listening to it for a while. Extra was a little late this morning. Got distracted. We had having a plumbing problem here at the office, and the landlord hasn't fixed it. So I was asking my buddy, three. This is not Rob Messer's stream. We go 1 to 10 here, but a three. Oh man. Then probably need more explanation to that. If you need a phone call, let's talk, dude. I got time today. Let's get on the phone, man. 9 today, pushing 9 plus. Good job, David. Love it. Love to see it. Um, Lost a wedding ring yesterday. Oh no. That sucks, man. Yours or hers? I'm guessing yours. Um, that sucks, man. Sorry about that. Yeah, those things are tricky. Those things are tricky for sure. You got to be careful with them. Um, And sometimes they just, they're circles. They just roll away. Yeah. Mine. Oh, belonging to your grandfather. That's even worse. See, I was going to go down the whole route that it's like, it's just a symbol. The marriage is all within you guys, your heart, your memory, your mind, all that other stuff, your family, your friends. But that's a completely different story. So makes it takes it to another level when it's a family heirloom. So sorry to hear that, man. Hoping that it's just rolled under the couch or one of your kids scooped it up and put it on a doll, and you find it soon. My husband has three weddings now. Yeah, look, some of us men are goobs, you know. Mine is a third generation ring. Yeah. Yeah, that's the tough. Three gives me lots more room for improvement throughout the day. 100%, dude. You get there. Oh, well, I am feeling, what am I feeling? Feeling decently good. Yeah. I would go like 7 or 8, 8 plus maybe. I could join that. I use a silicone ring mostly, so I don't lose my nice one. Yeah, I tried the silicone rings and the other ones, but I there's more. I don't know. I still have the sentimental value and attachment to the one that's on my finger. Um, so I've pretty much worn it forever. There was a time when I got into an accident and I kind of like broke like a small fracture on that finger. So I switched to silicone for a little bit. Um, but yeah, it feels weird when it's not there. It looks weird when it's not there because I got that, ring tan going heavy. But yeah, it is what it is. Um, yeah, so plumbing problem here. Landlord won't fix it. Gonna try to call a handyman, but it's not fun uh, being without plumbing in an office. So that's gonna be my day. Also gonna try to go home early today to see the family. I've been going the last, I want to say like 3 or 4 weeks where I've just been spending 3, 4 nights out here straight and not coming home during the week. And it's not my preference. I mean, at some level it is because I need to work and I don't want to commute home. Like the drive just is just horrible. Um, but there's definitely a higher level of like, for instance, what I do here. I talk all about family, life, parenting, and then I shut the screen off and I don't do any of this stuff. I don't go parent. I just go to work I hang out by myself, and then I go to sleep. So feels a little, what do you want to call it? Not fake, but something like that, like that during the day I do these streams and then I'm not a parent essentially. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get back on my routine because I finally got to the point where I finished this project. In fact, their moving truck comes today and their gas meter comes tomorrow. So those are the two like last signs to moving into a home. And I don't need to be involved for the moving truck today. That's all between them and the movers, has nothing to do with me really. Um, so I will show up, say hi, and then go check on my other jobs, and then I think I'll be fine leaving early today. And that's kind of like the biggest key for me is if I can do what I need to do here, and then leave early enough that I don't have to deal with traffic. That's going to be the best situation. I know many guys that wear, yeah, a lot of people wear the silicone for sure. Like it's definitely, yeah, we don't need to keep getting in that. Sometimes we're in a different season of life and that's okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain, but it's hard to explain it to the other people in the life that, they see me getting to do other things or miss me or, my wife's definitely putting on a lot more on her shoulders as far as taking care of the kids and the house. And I think there's a little bit of, I don't know if it's resentment or jealousy or just like unfairness that's like kind of building and festering in between us. So it is causing some issues. And she's brought it to my attention. And like just basically explained to her that just didn't, it just got hit by essentially four jobs all at once in really busy spots. And the last one that hit me was a quick 30-day, like, remodel, like, just, new floors, paint, tile, and then people moved out, real quick remodel, and then people are moving in, so it's like, it's not it's not a one that I can just let slack, and every time I do, I mean, I got a deadline. Like, actually, I have a deadline on this one. So, yeah, that's what's going on with me. That's what keeps me up at night, but doesn't because I sleep like a baby, so take that back. But yeah, how's everybody else doing? We know how Brofit's doing. Caitlin, how's school doing? David, what's going on with you? You got any talks coming up? Who else? What else is going on in everyone else's life? I want to know. Fill in the air for me, okay? I got no guest with me. Where are the boys at? Boys are traveling back home as far as I know. Um, I think Jason, I think Jason and his family are driving like on their process. I think they stayed for a little bit in one area. So I want to say that he was supposed to get home last night or today, and then we'll have our regular guest instead of these Arizona Turners. Arizona Turners or something else. Um, Dylan, you're always driving, man. Dylan. Dylan's always there. He's always driving. Um, but yeah, don't worry about Dylan. Everybody, no one else gets a pass but Dylan. I don't want Dylan to text a bunch of stuff while he's driving. Although texting while driving is a good one. Got a 91 on the book report that I didn't read all the way through. Of course, why not? Just everything should just come naturally to you. But all my homework is due tonight. I finished yesterday. Nice. All right. So now we're not procrastinating. Good job. And your brother's here, so you get to have some fun this morning at the office. Have a good one. Thanks for popping in, bud. Appreciate you, dude. Birthday coming up, right? Soggy's got a birthday coming up, y'all. I saw that somewhere. I saw there was a birthday stream. 7/10. Okay, 2 days. Don't drive it in Discord. Yeah, exactly. Soggy's birthday is in 2 days. How old is he turning? He looks like he's 56, maybe. Wisdom of a 65-year-old, but probably what, late 30s, mid 30s, 34. Yeah, let's call it that profit. Let's give him a 34 for now. Um, All right. Who read? I barely read. Guys, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just this one, this reading is about nurture. Okay? Nurturing. I like the idea of this one. So it says that there's a theory that we're all born with with every trait that we're going to have, and it's just a matter of which ones are gonna pull through all the rest. So you have your good traits, you have your bad traits, you have, your shyness, your awkwardness, your fun, your funkiness, all this stuff. And it's a matter of which ones you practice the most, which ones come out in situations that you find yourself into, opportunities, which ones your parents stoke in you, nurture in you, model for you, show for you, your teachers, your mentors, your coaches. I know we got coaches in the crowd. Um, and I like that thought. I kind of see that. It kind of makes sense to me. Like I see traits in my kids that don't come out as often, but when they do, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one. We should like double down on that one. I see some, my two younger ones, Brooklyn and Bentley, they they fight a lot, like a lot, like what feels like almost all the time. But then they have these super, cute, kind moments towards each other. And I don't know if it's because I'm sure it's because they fight so much that when they're kind, it just kind of like stops Amy and I in our tracks, and we both just kind of like gush over it. We also made it a point to, make it more known that we're going to highlight when they do those things. Yeah, yeah. Same thing, but opposite for me and my sister. My sister and I argued and fought all the time, and I still can't stand her. I've tried, but it just for we were good for a little bit there, but then she just went back to her old stuff, and I was like, "I'm out." The subject melts into my coaching gig. It's my parenting style. Yeah. See, I'm trying to be like that. It's a little hard for me. We argue like 13-year-old girl this wait, I argued like a 13-year-old girl this weekend with my brother. I know, right? But like your siblings bring that out in you. Like those are the people that know you the longest. Like I've seen Caitlin has mentioned like she knows how to get under soggy skin. It's like, yeah, brother, sister, you guys known each other forever, you know what to do. But yeah, there's definitely it's definitely different, different ways you interact or react with certain siblings. Um, I don't know what that's for. Fine. But anyways, it's something that I think this is something that I think we need to look at a little more in my household is just trying to it was something I was actually thinking about this week. Um, is just trying to focus a lot more on the positive. I was noticing a lot of situations top to bottom. Like, so me and the kids, the way that I interact with them, my wife and the kids, definitely my wife and I, there's just like, there's still such an emphasis on the negative on over other things. Like instead of seeing the good or seeing the positive or giving each other grace or, constructive criticism is probably like borderline. uh it definitely seemed like we were more so picking on each other, teasing each other, being a little bit more mean and negative towards each other this weekend. And so it's something that I want to bring to my household a little bit more and kind of have a conversation with all of them. It's hard for me to do that because, like I said, I'm away and not the full time parent. So something I had to bring towards my wife first and then go towards the kids. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this story. Nurturing the positive is kind of think how I'll preface it. Yeah. What do you guys think? Where are we at here? Ignore the I'm. Whoops. It was 90 plus outside. So I hit him with a hose outside. Your brother? Is that what you said? You hit your brother and then you started bickering with the hose for the water. See, that would be good. No, yeah, we all thought water, but he meant like he shit whipped his brother with the hose. 100%. Either way, it could be funny. Yeah. Yeah, it was in the 90s at our house this weekend. We're getting close to the hundreds. I know Brofit's already there for a really long time. Um, but yeah, the heat is coming. The heat is coming. What what else? What else do we got here? Anyone else want to chime in? Like I said, I struggle a little bit with this one because I don't feel anything was I feel like in my family, it was still the same way. Like what I'm passing down onto my kids is still very similar to what I got. Um, I'm on the fence of like 1% better, or let's call it 10%, give myself a little bit more credit. Maybe it's 50%. I don't know. But I'm still very much passing down the traits of teasing, picking on each other, uh, sarcasm, rude comments disguised as humor, uh, and that's probably like my biggest. Why did I click that away? My biggest issue at the home is I still bring a lot of that. The heat is on. I don't I don't think we learn traits for good or bad from adults in our lives, but we are always able to change. Yeah, team sarcasm here as well. I know sarcasm is it's a bitch. I don't know what it is. It's like the old like movie scene or historic parable or whatever you want to call it, where it's like the the seduction of the bad. It just feels so good to be bad or whatever it is. My in-laws pick on each other and call each other by the wrong name to play with each other. My wife thought it was normal to call me Joe. Yeah, right? It's like sorry, it's a similar thing at my household. When my wife was first getting to know my family, she would come over for family dinners at my mom's house. So it'd be like me and my siblings and my mom, and we would all just take digs and pick on each other, and it was just this whole thing, and my wife can't remember, like, after how many dinners or how many months we were together, she was just like, "You guys are really mean to each other." She's like, I don't get it. I don't understand." It's not that way with her family. I've noticed it a little bit more in her family, but definitely not to the degree of my family, and definitely not within her like her close family, like mom, dad, and brother. Like they don't do it at all to each other. They do it a little bit to extended aunts and uncles and cousins, but even so, like not. Yeah, it's I you know, nature versus nurture, right? Like, exactly what we're talking about. Like, it was just a completely different family from the top to the bottom, like, Amy's grandparents are, or were, 'cause they've both passed away, wonderfully nice people. Like, I used to watch, her grandmother come over, and just the way that she would interact with her kids, was just a thing of beauty, and I don't remember that in my grandparents. My dad's parents were just more of like the silent older couple. I always remember them being old, like even as a kid, they just were these old, frail people, cane, glasses, gray hair, and they would just sit and watch. The family would come over and they would just sit and watch, very little interaction. And then my mom's mom, she was a younger grandparent, but she was always I don't know, she always just has a chip on her shoulder, still does. She's still alive. Um, Very upset at her daughters, very kind of upset at the world, those kind of things. But still like a nice sweet lady. I don't know. It is tough. It is always interesting when a kid can officiate the discussion when the parents start to argue. Yeah, right. Arguing in front of kids is a tough one. We try our hardest not to do it, but then I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like we then hold a lot of stuff in, and it turns into like a silent resentment or silent problem. What do you want the culture to be with your kids? Culture. I really want them to. I really want to go towards like respect, kindness, like love and positivity and all that stuff. Yeah, there's an uncle loser and an uncle dickhead. Same uncle, two names. Yeah, it's so bad. Um, yeah, as far as the culture of the house, I don't think it's there. It's still very much a sarcastic no, like I said, I'm not modeling it. I'm working on it. Like there's times when I'm really good at it and there's times when I'm not. And I think the times when I'm not are obviously those times when, you know, I'm tired, I'm not thinking about it, I'm, focusing on something else. Like I've noticed this in myself, my wife and others, like when we're honed in on something like a video game or a Netflix or, social media, and then, someone comes in to interrupt that, that's when like you're mean or you're short or you're whatever. You're not showing them that you have the time for them or want to switch over to that time with them. And so that's why I go on these little hiatuses where I, pull away from certain things, but then what I've found is other things just find their way into the slot. Like I stopped doing VFriends whatnots and stuff like that. But then I just started watching Netflix instead or playing Roblox. Um, so something just fills the gap, fills the void. Uh, so no, don't think I'm modeling it that well. I also think it's important to see your parents argue to an extent. If you never see conflict, and your parents get a false. Yeah, that's that's something that I've tried to bring up with my wife. Uh, like I don't want to see our kids arguing badly, but I think we need to work on, you know, having a dialogue where we disagree and then coming to a resolution in front of our kids. But after X number of years being married, 16, 17 years being married, we're still working on that. I do think conflict and arguing are different. Yeah, of course. Everything's different. Um, yeah, I got to think more on that, how to model it, how to approach it with the kids. I think a lot of it has to do with Amy and I just need to sit and have these talks. I'm having these talks with all of you guys. I'm reading all this stuff. It's not anything that we ever did. We our relationship started real fast and real quick. We got thrust into parenting. We were not trying to do that, and so we didn't have your get to know you phase. It was all very quick, and we've there's stuff there that we need to work on, but there's stuff there that goes really well, and that's why we've held together for so long. And I don't see any reason, or I don't see anything stopping us from being together. So it's just something we need to work at and have a conversation on. But it's very hard. It's hard to say, hey, we've been doing it this way for 16 years. Let's do it a completely different way. And I think it's more of a just a struggle to have that conversation when you're in the busyness of life because it's not a it's not a quick like 30-minute, hour, 2-hour conversation, and it's hard to have that talk. So that's kind of where I'm at with our relationship. Like I think we need that. I don't think she's ready for it yet. Um, and I'm just kind of trying to do my best to model where I think we should be, but at the end of the day, it's hard to it's hard to change completely when everyone else around you is the same and expects you to be the same or reacts to you in the same manner. So I think that's kind of where my struggle has been. Progress over perfection. Yep, 100%. And I'm making baby steps for sure. Like I can see my change. And normally I like to say normally it's hard for you to see your own change, but I think I just, because my change is more reflection based, I can see it. Relationships need argument. It is how you argue and how you resolve. A model to the kids on relationships. Yes, sir. That that indeed. That indeed. Has anybody tried scanning this QR code back here behind my shoulder? Just kidding. Don't do it. It's just my painter's sign. I just noticed it. But yeah, thank you guys. This was a really long 30 minutes. I don't know if you guys can see me struggle, but I can see me struggle sometimes. Oh man. But thank you all for being here. Everybody have a good Tuesday. I don't know what's going on oh, I froze on the screen. Oh, I didn't turn my Wi-Fi off on my phone. Was I choppy at all? Be graceful with yourself today. I know, Dom struggle bus. Dom needs to give himself grace. Grace is like my favorite, like one of my new favorite words this year. Is trying to do that for myself because I think a lot of it I do, you know, blame and shit on myself in the background. Uh, because I've read enough about this stuff to know that um, if I want things to change, like I need to be the change. I need to be the leader and step up. But I also know that it's not easy for other people to change at all. And grace with others. Change is hard, but change is good. No pooping on the Twitch. Cops. What? Dylan's driving and he just writes cops. Oh man. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much. Let's chat more on Twitter. I'm always around. Brofit, if you want to jump on call and chat at all, I miss you. Anyone else too. I really want to get Soggy on call. That's my goal for 2025. I should probably start by actually attempting to call him. Um, and that's not a troll, dude. I just want to talk to you. That's all. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck, right? I'll find a way. I'll find a way. Tom Cruise stole my coffee and climbed down the wing of the airplane. Bye, buddy. David, I really love those, and I miss them when you don't do them. So let's end on that note. We love Soggy. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you all tomorrow.